So it is okay to bargain during grief, but it's not okay to remain in that bargaining circle longer than necessary. Welcome back to Waves, Faith, Healing, and the Human Journey. I'm your host, Dr. Mrs. Cordelia Iwize. For the past few weeks, we've been dealing on the topic of grief. We've looked at the different stages of grief. We discussed denial, anger, and today we are moving on to the next stage of grief known as bargaining. Bargaining is the negotiating or negotiation phase of grief. It is where the mind is thinking that probably if I did this, this wouldn't have happened. This is where you'll find people saying, oh, if only I arrived 5 minutes before the time, I would have averted the situation. This is where you'll find somebody saying, oh, if only I worked so hard on that job, I wouldn't have lost it. Or someone saying, God, if you can give me another chance at the goal, I'll be a better partner. Or even saying that if only you can heal me of this ailment, I'm just going to serve you with my whole life. This is what bargaining looks like. It is a place where the heart is searching and ruminating over the past, trying to make meaning, or sometimes even trying to reach out to the future to gain control. Bargaining always occurs when the initial shock has faded and before we reach the full acceptance of the situation. In the case of losses, loss shows to humans that there are things that are beyond our control. There are things we cannot stop. But bargaining attempts to push back that reality in a way like if we could have done different things, we would have been able to prevent it. When we remain in that circle of bargaining for too long, what's going to happen is that there's going to be guilt, even exhaustion, emotional exhaustion. Because you know what? When someone continues to ruminate over the loss for too long, they become restless, unable to sleep, and which will eventually affect the person's mental health. So it is okay to bargain during grief, but it's not okay to remain in that bargaining circle longer than necessary. So what do we do now to stop ourselves from remaining in that circle that leads to emotional, psychological, and physical exhaustion? The first thing is to name and accept every of the what if thoughts that come up. But then attempt to break the circle by writing down an alternate reality. Because there are certain things that will think that maybe if only you arrive 5 minutes earlier, for example, if that's your what if you arrived 5 minutes earlier? Is that all the factors to that situation? You could have arrived 5 minutes earlier, but there are other factors that play their own role in making that loss to occur. So be kind to yourself to know that there's the much you can do. And the reality of every loss is that it's not for you to fix everything because there are some things that are beyond your control. Then, secondly, when you find yourself ruminating and remaining in that circle, bring yourself to now, reality, to the present, and find things to distract yourself so that you will not continue in that circle of bargaining. It is tough to do that alone. Sometimes, if you need therapy, you need someone to share the moment with, you need to go out to socialize just to stop yourself from being in that circle for too long. Please do that. It is okay to bargain. Remember that it's not everything that you are meant to fix, and it's not everything that is within your control. Bargaining is an attempt to gain control. But when you remember that it's not everything that is under your control, there are other things that can also play a role, then you'll be able to be kind to yourself. Thank you for listening. Share comment, critique, like, until we meet again to continue on our series. The next week, we'll be looking at depression after we have accepted that, yes, this is beyond our control. What next? See you. Remain blessed till then.